Thank you for voting us Yuba Sutter's best in multiple categories, including financial advisor and wealth management firm for the past 5 years. You can find more information at shawassociatesinc.com or 530-674-1150. Shaw & Associates is proud to support community radio.
And good morning. Time is 14 minutes after 8 o'clock. I'm John Black. And joining us in the studio right now, Jen Cates. And Jen, it's Party at the Moon Tower.
Yeah. Those days are long past,
those
John.
are long past. It's party at River Valley High School. Coming up, when?
February 26th.
February 26th. It's a party of a different kind. It's
Yes.
a 5K heart run. Tell me about it.
It is called Have a Heart for Kids.
Have a Heart for
Perfect on
Kids.
today, right?
Yes,
February 14th, we're talking about can you have a heart for kids?
That's what I was hoping you were saying.
Yeah, I led right into that.
I know, but it's not on Valentine's Day.
No,
But it is happening in the month of February.
it is, which is Heart Month.
Heart Month. I got to ask you real quick, what's your hubby doing for you on Valentine's Day?
That's a good question. Hopefully he's listening, right?
Yeah.
So we are going to do a little golfing today and
Yeah.
take a little trip to Roseville, Rockland area, have a little lunch, come back. He says we've been celebrating Valentine's all weekend, so he's told me Happy Valentine's Day every day this weekend, but just so he can be done with it.
It's been 40 plus years we've been celebrating Valentine's Day as continuing on myself.
Aw, congratulations.
Oh, it's not my fault. Jen Cates, let's talk about the Yuba City Education Foundation.
Yes.
What is it?
So the Education Foundation is a nonprofit organization that supports the students and families of Yuba City Unified School District. So this
Okay.
foundation has been around for a few decades now. I've been involved on and off. I'm now the president currently, in part because I'm just really moved and touched by the work that the foundation does. And here's what I mean by that. Anytime we see a need, a barrier to education, oftentimes we're limited in the school district with how we can address that need because it's outside of the scope of public funding. So in other words, when we find out that a student is unable to come to school because their only form of transportation, say the car battery's dead, and parents are really struggling with how to get the kid to school because they've got to get somebody to work and then get the kids to school, and that just ends up being kind of put on the bottom. We make these discoveries, building connections with families, doing some home visits, working with these families, and find that out. The school district can't use public taxpayer funds to go buy a car battery, but the Education Foundation can use our donated nonprofit
And
funds.
you have done that before.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm not just making that story up. Yeah, we've just in the last month, off the top of my head, I'm thinking done an eye exam and a pair of glasses for an 8th grade student in need. Bought a bike for a 6th grader at one of our schools so she could get herself to school and not have to rely on the one car family transportation. Got a bike helmet, bike lock, and bike. Just helped pay for a bug bombing of a house that they had an infestation with lice and some mice, and so we're able to bring a company in and do a bug bomb and help clear that out for them so that the kids weren't home with lice or bug bites and could make it to school.
This sounds very unique. Is it unique just for the Yuba City district or the other districts?
Marysville also has an education foundation. I think districts are able to establish, we know that there's a need beyond the scope of what's acceptable with public funds, and then that education foundation can help fund that need. So in the past, I mean, in addition to what we call the problem solving fund, which is some of what I just described to you, we also do senior scholarships. Of course, we've done $10,000 worth of scholarships every year. We're able to fund individual teacher projects. We did a couple years ago, we did a big push with physical fitness, mental wellness, helping our PE teachers in our schools. How can you address the physical and mental wellness of your students?
Especially during the time of the pandemic last year.
Absolutely. So we know there's additional needs, and raising these funds, we have one fundraiser a year. This is it. We do the Have a Heart for Kids 5K run walk. Very family friendly. You can take your stroller, bring your dog on a leash. It's also chip timed, so it's also for our runners out there. It's a real event where you're going to get an actual chip timed.
Is it going to be at the track there? Is that where it's going to be?
So it's going to start at the track, and then it heads out down Margarita Boulevard, down around the neighborhood, makes a loop, comes back, and ends at the River Valley track as well.
That's River Valley High School coming up on the 26th of this month.
Absolutely. And we'll take your registration right up to that morning. Of course, we can't guarantee you the cool shirt if you register late, but we're going to have some cool shirts. We have a child's price for $15 and an adult price for $25. I'll put the link on the Facebook thread here, but you can find it on the website. You can find it on Yuba City Ed Foundation or ycusd.org.
Now, you say this is the only fundraiser. Are you thinking of expanding that as time goes by?
You know, that's possible, but it's hard because this foundation is a collaborative effort of these aren't just educators on this board, right? We've got community members, lawyers, bankers, people who do work in education, some people who live in Yuba City but work maybe in Yuba County. So it's really just people who have a common connection of wanting to do things for kids.
It is a 501c3.
Yes.
Okay, so
Yes.
any donations that you make, and if somebody's would like to make some large ones, keep that in mind because
Please.
we're in tax season.
Yeah.
And you can have that written off as a tax.
Yeah, we appreciate those sponsors. You know, some of that sponsorship money goes to help pay for kids who want to participate, but whose families can't pay the $15 to participate. So even that, we had a donor donate 20 child registrations that we've
that's
used.
nice.
Yeah. It's a really cool event because while we're raising money, it's also a kind of a coming together. And I think we obviously weren't able to have the event in person last year, so we've had a little bit of a gap. It'll be nice to see people outside coming together, staying healthy, moving forward, you know, getting past these last 2 years have been tough, and doing it all in the name of how can we help kids.
Well, I once again also want to point out that you can do a continuing giving thing, can't they? If somebody, I mean, is it handled through PayPal or is it GoFundMe? What is it handled through?
You know, I was setting up a Venmo account over the weekend, saying we need to get a Venmo account for people because I have friends who say, "Well, I'll Venmo money. I want to support," and I think that's the way to send money these days versus a check.
We're finding that out. We had our big telethon on Friday here at 93Q, and people have been still continuing to give through the weekend. So it'd be nice to open that up. I want to tell that to all the nonprofits.
Yeah.
You know, the giving doesn't just end during that time that you talk about it. You can keep it open where the people can go and say, because it might be on vacation, and they say, "Oh, I didn't know about this. How do I support it?"
That's a great point. Yep, you're going to inspire me to finish setting up that Venmo business account and get that out because that's a great idea. Right now, it's typically going through the district. You know, people can find me through the district and make those donations. We will obviously take them anytime, but we're really putting this push together here for February for this one event so that we can continue to support kids and families. I should mention that, you know, it's not often that the district can do things for the parents, but very often what limits students' access to education is sometimes out of their control, and it really is needing to support the parents and the family as well.
Where does that end? What I mean is what need is not acceptable? You forgot to pay of course, your parent played that rent's money at the casino, and not, you know, stuff like that is not going to fly.
I haven't had that come up. Remember that, so there's going to be a referral process, and I really rely heavily on my school counselors and district social workers to make those referrals. Teachers, school administrators, everyone has access to the form, but basically it's kind of like, what's the need? How can we address this? What have we already tried? What organizations have we reached out to? Because oftentimes there's other organizations in town, you know, maybe it's a food insecurity need, and we can reach out to one of our food pantries, pick up food, and get that for them. Sometimes it's a utility bill or something of that nature, and there are also programs that can assist with that. You know, sometimes
with resources.
And sometimes it's that connection. You know, some people just don't know about those resources, and so I feel really fortunate in Yuba City to have 2 social workers who work with our district who are really able to do that and really connect families to these resources that are available but maybe not everybody knows about. And on our website, even for everybody, we have a whole, I think it's about to 5 pages now, called Community Resources on ycusd.org that our social workers keep updated. So help with rent, Where can I go to get a COVID test? Where can I go to get a vaccine? Where do I look for food pantries? Where can I look for 0 to 5 family services? All of that
Alcoholics
information.
Anonymous.
Absolutely, that's on there as well.
Let's switch hats if we could a little bit, because
Sure.
you are the Director of Student Engagement, correct, for the Yuba City Unified School District?
Yes.
Okay, what does that title mean?
Isn't
Exactly
it great?
what it
Isn't it a
says?
great title?
It is.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
student engagement.
So back in the day, we used to call that student attendance and welfare.
Okay.
And it's all still the same thing. We're still worried about student attendance and their welfare, but I think it sounds a little antiquated. So student engagement sounds a little fresher, but it really is exactly what we're talking about. My job duties, I oversee attendance, I oversee positive behaviors in our schools, alternatives to suspension, alternatives to discipline, working on positive school culture, overseeing our school counseling program, overseeing our district MTSS, which is our multi-tiered disciplinary support system. So basically all of those services that are beyond the classroom curriculum, seeing that there's more to educating a student, more to supporting a student than just what we deliver in the classroom.
I've heard rumor that schools are no longer paid by attendance. Is that true?
Oh, do you mean about ADA or?
Well, I know that when kids don't show up for school, the way it used to be, the district, whatever district may be, had that much lesson funds to teach the rest of the kids. So that's why it was so important to make sure kids go to school. But I understand that that idea has changed now. It's no longer on attendance. Is that true?
So there's some new legislation out there that's addressing, it's basically kind of a 3-year enrollment. What they're using is in the last 3 years, the enrollment. And I think what they were noticing is that the chronic absenteeism and using ADA to pay schools, quote unquote, to reimburse schools for education was difficult on, some of our Title I families. If you have a district with a large Title I family, lower socioeconomic families, it's difficult. Like I was saying, when you have one family car and somebody's got to get to work and your high schooler needs to get to school and your middle schooler needs to get to school and your second grader's too young to ride a bike to elementary and you've got to run around and get all these people delivered, that's difficult on families who struggle economically.
You said Tier 1. Is it
Title I.
Title I. Okay. And
Title I is the name of that fall into that if you're in a socioeconomic group that struggles. So used to be free and reduced lunch. We kind of eliminated that stigma. Every child in our district eats free, regardless of income.
Yeah, I totally appreciate that. I don't know if I told you the story. It used to be embarrassing because I'd get the free lunch and we'd have different lines at lunchtime for the people who paid for lunch and the people who got free, and they'd be like, oh, look at the poor kids kind of thing.
Yeah. I respect that, and I'm glad that it's reduced the stigma.
I agree.
This also picking up food or going through the drive-throughs or, by the way, on Tuesday, our district is also doing another food box delivery because we recognize while school is out this week that some of our families struggle with food security, and those free breakfast and lunches and not having that for a week is difficult on a family. Your food bill probably goes up with your kids all at home. So on Tuesday, Gray Avenue School, head over there, check our website for the exact times. I don't want to be wrong, but you can pick up a food box that'll feed your kids for the rest of the week.
You say school is out this week?
School is out this week.
Why?
Right, we're doing a little February intercession, both Marysville Unified and Yuba City Unified. So we have those 2 Monday holidays for the presidents. We're taking off this week as kind of a February intercession, had a shorter Christmas break, only 2 weeks at Christmas in order to do this. I think really an effort to kind of renew and refresh everyone's fuel again.
Do we have as many days of school now as we used to have?
We
or
do.
Is it just the idea of it because we see these days off more without
I think it
rhymes?
feels that way for people who aren't in education.
Yeah.
Those of us who are in education, we know there's still those full 185, 180 school attendance days for students, but sometimes it's just kind of stretched out a little bit. It feels like we start earlier in August, we'll end the first week of June.
It's not really spring break, is it? Is
We'll have spring break later.
That's a different thing.
Yes.
Okay, this
Yes.
is Intercession.
Right.
I'm as somebody my age, it's just a little bit confusing. I'm sure you run into that all the time.
We do. And
I
I
used to go to
hope this
school
week
back
works.
way.
Yeah, I hope this week works out for people to take a little break. I think I know our educators could sure use a little self-care refresh. I hope whatever they're doing, it's recharging them.
Are they back teaching students? What I mean
We're
is
all
right,
in person.
all in person.
Yes.
Any change in the mask mandates or anything like that? I understand it's coming down the pike soon if it hasn't already.
Coming down the pike, I think tomorrow, right, is our big, the news. Governor Newsom had said February 15th. But
Now,
schools, nothing has
schools.
changed for schools that we've known.
That they'd leave it up to the schools or like that.
I think right now schools follow CDPH, so we wait for CDPH to tell us if the guidelines have changed. So we'll all be waiting on pins and needles with everyone else. Right now, the mask guidelines are in place, the same as they were, last week, for adults and children to all wear masks.
What about
indoors.
vaccine mandates for teachers or anything like that? Is that?
I hear the same rumblings you hear. So we wait to hear from our state as to what we're hearing that's going to happen, but we have not seen that timeline, take place yet.
Did you have the COVID?
I have not had COVID.
Yeah, knock on wood, because the whole thing is everybody's been saying everybody will get it eventually. Everybody, I've had it twice. So
You can have mine.
I definitely, it's unfair the way it affects people. But
Yeah.
what's your secret to not getting it?
Right. I am vaccinated and boosted. Proud to
Okay.
say that. I know that's not everyone's belief system, but it's
a
mine.
personal thing.
It
Personal
is,
thing.
and I choose to do that to protect my family, my mother. I'm around a lot of school kids. I'm around a lot of kids, and so I want to make sure that I'm doing my part to keep everybody safe. But I think. I'm careful. I'm not reckless in my time
You get
out.
exercise. You're going today and playing golf.
I am, yeah. That's true. I like to be outside a lot. I do a lot of hiking. We go up to our cabin up at Almanor a lot. We get outside, but no one in my family has had COVID at all. Maybe it's part of, I joked that it was maybe part of my upbringing. I told my mom all those days of playing in the creek and drinking out of the hose, maybe that's really built up my immunity as an adult.
Or how we stayed away from people when we were kids.
Socially distancing, and when you grow up in a small town, is pretty easy.
That's true. You grew up in definitely a small town, the town of Bernie.
Yes.
Oh, you said Bernie High School. I didn't know they had enough people there to populate a high school.
To my Raiders out there.
Raiders.
Bernie
Are
Raiders.
you a football fan?
I am not a Raiders fan, but I am a football fan.
Okay. Well, what did you think of the Super Bowl yesterday?
The Super Bowl was great. I thought that it was a well-played, evenly matched. I didn't have any skin in the game for either one of those teams, but I was really, really impressed with Cooper Kupp, and I'm really like that he's come from a small college, from an FCS school, and is receiving this recognition. Just goes to prove to everybody out there that, you don't have to go to Georgia or UCLA to be somebody special in the NFL. So hard work, hustle, dedication, talent.
It's just like acting. Just like acting. There's no small parts, just small actors, as they say.
There you go.
Let's go back to what we were talking about here. They have a Heart for Kids 5K run, which coming up on the 26th. Is that a Saturday or Sunday?
It's a Saturday.
Okay.
Saturday morning, come out. Early Riser Kiwanis is cooking us breakfast. So
can I drop in real quick? Early Risers Kiwanis, Yuba City, also selling See's Candy at the front of the Yuba Sutter Mall. The marketplace today. They're doing actually today. So for those late people,
get out there.
Valentine's Day. Yeah. Okay. Yuba City, Early Risers, Kiwanis, See's Candy. Yum, yum, yum. Okay. They're going to be there at the 5K
They're going to be
run.
there. They're going to be there. They do great work. Another organization that supports our communities and our
Totally
kids
agree.
across the way. So they'll be out there cooking up a pancake breakfast for us. We're actually going to package that to go so that people aren't having to mill around and sit. And we're really trying to be conscientious of COVID guidelines, but also wanting to get that exercise and that outdoor fresh air and get your families together, pack up the stroller. Even if you can't come out and participate, if you can come and volunteer, we'd love to have you to come volunteer. I'm bringing my mom to come and help volunteer because she can't do a 5K, but she can certainly sit there and support and support in her way of giving her time.
Cool. Pancakes. Are you a pancake fan?
Kinda.
I have never been able to eat pancakes without getting my hands sticky.
They make forks and knives for that.
I know all that, but ever since I was a kid, I can do it with ice cream now, but not pancakes for some reason. So it's coming up on the 26th, and they can actually sign up for this 5K run ahead of time.
Yes.
Probably, which is preferable, so you can get that T-shirt
Right.
like you were
Get that
talking
cool
about.
T-shirt. Yep.
And they can do that through.
You go to ycusd.org.
Okay.
It's right on our front page for the district. Remember, this is not a district event. This is actually a foundation event, an education foundation event, but the funds support the district families. So the district helps us with advertising and helps promote that for us as well. So go on the district webpage. You can also go on yubacityedfoundation.org and find us that way. Call me at the district office, 822-7639. I'd love to help you get hooked up. If you can be a sponsor, we would love to put your name on our shirt. So let me know ASAP. And just keep in mind that everything you're doing is about having a heart for kids.
Oh, I love that. Also, by the way, you said you're going to put the link on
Yes.
as soon as we get done with this interview. You're going to go on there probably in the next 20, 30 minutes and put a link on there in the comments section for this as
Absolutely.
well.
Yes.
Jen Cates, Yuba City Education Foundation, also with the Yuba City Unified School District, as the person in charge of student engagement and enrollment.
Yes.
Jen Cates, thank you very much. You're
Thank
a great
you.
addition to the Yuba Sutter area and a great reason why we do this program.
Thanks, John.
This community interview is made possible by Shaw and Associates.
I'm Dave Shaw, President and CEO of Shaw & Associates. For over 65 years, Shaw & Associates has been your trusted local expert for wealth management, tax, accounting, and payroll. Thank you for voting us Yuba Sutter's best in multiple categories, including financial advisor and wealth management firm for the past 5 years. You can find more information at shawassociatesinc.com or 530-674-1150. Shaw & Associates is proud to support community radio.
The Way Radio